No, I'm sorry. Hello, friends, and welcome back to Every Arnold Movie Ever, episode 39. We are in the home stretch of Arnold's career, which coincidentally is also the nadir of his career. We are a long way from Terminator 2. But here on Every Arnold Movie Ever, I'm always looking for positive takeaways, and on paper, 2017's Killing Gunther shows a lot of promise. It's Arnold's first comedy since Jingle All the Way in 1996. Unless you also want to count 1997's Batman and Robin, which...
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Yes.
Either way, 20 years have passed, the longest he's gone without breaking up his action with comedy. Post-Governor, he was instead breaking up the action with heavy drama. I don't know, it's produced some interesting results, but has been suspiciously devoid of laughs. The Last Stand had some quips, but like the closest we got to straight comedy was Terminator Genisys, and we all know how that went. And this seems like a missed opportunity, especially as he aged. You would think he would lean more into comedy. So again, in concept, his return to humor is very welcome.
Rockin' body, pretty face.
Killing Gunther began as Taran Killam's first project after exiting SNL. He had a run from 2010 to 2016, and off the strength of that was able to write, direct, and star in this movie. The premise involves a group of hitmen attempting to kill the greatest hitman of all time, Gunther. They hire a documentary crew to follow their exploits as an excuse to make this a mockumentary, and naturally, things go awry for the characters and the audience. Killam wrote the role for an Arnold Schwarzenegger type, never actually imagining he could get Arnold himself. He started by making video offers to actors who hosted SNL.
The second actor we offered it to, the agent that represents him also represents Arnold, and said, "Would you consider Arnold Schwarzenegger?" And I was like, give me -5 minutes, yes.
Yeah, right.
So Killam made a video and sent it to Arnold, who was charmed enough to request the script. I thought the whole concept of taking the kind of movies that I've done many times, of playing a killer of some sort, and that this guy was the ultimate #1 assassin, I thought that was funny. I had a blast doing the movie. It was heaven. It was just so over the top. Killam met with Arnold and basically told him he wanted to capture his essence from pumping iron. $1 million bully smile. After that, Arnold was given free rein to create the character as he saw fit. I was rehearsing it for months before I got to the set, doing it my way, the way I interpreted it. And when we did rehearsals a week before we started shooting, Taran liked what I came up with. The rest of the cast is filled out with some SNL and Comedy Bang Bang alums, along with Kobe Smulders. Arnold's role took about 2 weeks to shoot because, spoiler alert, he doesn't show up until minute 70. Seeing the movie, yeah, it's too bad we don't have a scene or two where I could have come in sooner. So, is Killing Gunther a triumphant return to form for Arnold, or does it assassinate his comedy career? I may have given it away. I definitely gave it away. But you know, comedy is also misdirection, so maybe I'm out to surprise you. Let's all find out together.
Attitude bigger than the San Andreas.
We open on a POV shot of a character having a seat in an Argentinian bar. It's revealed to be Taran Killam playing Blake, who's here to assassinate this guy.
I have a message from Papenka. I knew you. I knew you. Sorry, hold on.
Kind of funny, but also, I cannot understand a word of what he says.
I knew you had rocks!
I'm sorry, what are you saying?
I knew you had rocks!
What?
I knew you had rocks!
Closed captioning tells me it's this.
I knew you had rocks!
But come on, like, it's the first joke of the movie and we can't even understand it.
I knew I'd find you hiding under a rock.
We learn that Blake has hired a documentary crew to follow him as he attempts to kill the best hitman in the biz, Gunther.
You want to be king, you have to kill the king. And right now, Gunther is king.
We then get the obligatory introduction of the rest of the team. Donnie Pisnowski, a psychopath explosives expert.
Kaboom! This ain't a fishing rod!
Gabe, a hacker turned murderer. Ashley, a seasoned veteran and Blake's mentor, who immediately suffers a heart attack and has to be replaced.
If I ever see him again.
Crush, who has a robot arm, and Pak Young-ki, who is a poisons expert who gets sick at the sight of blood. Sanaa has a stage dad, but for hitmen, and then there's the Belikova twins who do Honestly, not much. From the start, the team struggles until Blake's former partner Max shows up with a file revealing Gunther's position.
Turns out our friend Gunther lives.
And in something of a pattern for this movie, the surprise of this scene is telegraphed a mile away, and we know Max is going to be killed instantly. We aren't far into this movie, but it's weirdly uninspired. Like, Ashley having a heart attack was mildly amusing, but the bit is basically repeated with Max showing up and getting killed. And then we get this tired enhance joke.
Enhance image.
That's not how technology works.
Yes, it is.
It turns out Gunther is responsible for the attack, and he's already onto them. We then meet Blake's ex-girlfriend Lisa, who left him for Gunther. Blake denies it.
Lisa? I don't know her.
But there's evidence.
That doesn't sound like me.
Blake!
And again, the idea here is funny, but the execution just doesn't work. Killam's character is wildly inconsistent. He's supposedly good at his job, but all we see is him being totally inept. It's hard to get a read on him and to get behind him as a character. You can't have much sympathy for him. He's just kind of a sniveling dweeb.
It doesn't mean anything.
Lisa says his work took precedence over him, so she dumped him, which makes it even weirder that she would date Gunther, who seems equally obsessed.
I don't want any part of what's going on.
Meanwhile, in another Telegraph joke, Ashley is out of the hospital, and guess what happens?
Ashley is back in the hospital.
They craft a plan to bait Gunther and show up in Miami Beach wearing incredibly unfunny disguises. There's a desperation to this stuff, mostly because it involves characters we know very little about and have no investment in. They go to an arms dealer to load up on weapons, and this is supposed to be where we learn more about the characters, or at least watch them interact and be funny together, but it's just so flat.
Fuck up this Beretta, which actually sucks because he's got a you break it, you buy it policy.
Hey, motherfucker. I need to find a window.
If I'm in the way, you can just put me or just say
You're
something.
fine.
My therapist would disagree. Gabe, ladies and gentlemen.
Naturally, Gunther shows up, but the inept team can't capture him. The Crusher gets killed, which is fine because he was barely a character at all, and his robot arm provided not one good joke.
Yeah, it clenches when I run out of battery. I don't know if you have an Android or an LG charger or something.
After that, Gunther gets the upper hand on them again.
He knew we were coming.
But this time, they think they've finally killed him. Which no one in the audience is going to believe. Also, Pat gets killed. They go to a bar to celebrate, and suddenly the documentarian is in front of the camera, and the scene just goes on and on and on and on. That night, Sanaa's father goes after Bobby Moynihan for sleeping with his daughter, but it turns out Gunther set him up.
You called me to inform me of their indiscretion.
I did not.
He then used that as a distraction to kill the twins. No big loss in this movie. And by the way, we still haven't seen Arnold. There's a whole other section after this where Blake hits rock bottom, but it involves Gabe the hacker, and it's just agonizing. Gabe is another character that just doesn't have anything going for him other than Blake's anger towards him.
Drive, stop crying, and drive, stop crying, Gabe.
It's hard. It's hard to watch. He meets up with Donnie, who's dressed in drag, and the concept is unfunny, but the reveal is pretty good.
You look nice.
Thank you.
Donnie says he's quitting the business because he's in love, and this is the best scene by far, and outside of the visual gag, it's played totally straight.
We are in way over our heads. We got so many of our friends killed.
More of this stuff would have gone a long way. Donnie tells Blake if he really wants to find Gunther, he has to do everything he can, including going to Lisa and asking where Gunther is. Ashley's let out of the hospital, and predictably,
Ashley?
at the funeral, everything comes to a head. Ashley gets blown up in his grave. Blake overreacts. The guy's already dead. What are you doing? And then Gabe gets killed by a headstone.
Gabe, no.
Lisa shows up and gives him Gunther's address. So he heads to Mammoth to kill Gunther and is joined by Donnie and Sanaa. And finally, we get what we came here for, the Gunther reveal.
I heard you've been looking for me.
Imagine paying money for this in theaters. Not that you had much of a chance, but imagine doing that, having to sit around for at least an hour waiting for Arnold. But then here he comes, and you get this hair. that Arnold himself came up with. In the annals of Arnold hair, it is up there, or down there, with Around the World in 80 Days and The Last Stand. Arnold's appearance, though, injects so much life into this movie, highlighting just how incredibly dull it was up until this point.
My name is Robert Gunther Bendig, and I'm a hitman.
It felt dead on arrival from the second you realize it's a mockumentary. And then Gunther here reveals that he hired his own documentary crew and infiltrated the team using various disguises. And the funniest stuff happens in this scene, although they of course can't show some restraint when it comes to callbacks.
I'm right here. How do you think I learned to ram my fist into someone's stomach to break their goddamn spine?
He gives a great speech about why he's the best hitman.
I've been doing this for almost 50 fucking years, so I deserve to be the best.
It is very pumping iron, and he's instantly likable, way more likable than any of the other main characters, even though he's supposed to be the villain. I am rooting for him against all these other losers. And Gunther offers them a way out of this mess.
Option 1, you go and make your own happy ending. You get a second chance at life. Retire from killing, obviously, and I'll let you be.
Donnie and Sanaa take it, but Blake refuses. His obsession has gotten the best of him, and Gunther then reveals that he has held Lisa hostage. He gives Blake a choice to either save Lisa or kill Gunther. He makes his choice, and it's a bad one.
I'm so sorry.
No!
Or is it?
Documentary.
Gunther and Blake fight, more callbacks.
Go ahead, kill me. Do it. I'm right here. You son of a bitch.
We get to the chopper.
Totally unnecessary. You don't need it. And then Gunther escapes. What a satisfying ending. Oh, but wait, cut to 1 year later. Donnie and Sanaa have a baby. Nothing funny here. Still focusing on her dad. Then in New York, Lisa reveals she's married someone else.
He sells timeshares and he wants a family. He loves me.
And then somewhere in Austria, we meet up with Gunther in another outrageous outfit.
Now the great thing is, I'm now running a garden co-op.
And there's some amusing bits here. We get to see him in Lederhosen. He's giving back. He speaks some German.
Das ist aber gut für die Gesundheit.
Then he reveals that he loves country music.
A hard man knows that a soft woman's touch.
Another callback.
I'm coming for you, Brad Paisley. Trust me.
This is all completely ridiculous, but it is very entertaining. Something this movie needed a lot more of a lot earlier. And I think they just chose to focus on the wrong main character. This should have been about Gunther the whole time. And just when it looks like Gunther has gotten away with it,
If I ever see him again.
here comes Blake channeling Will Forte.
Did you see it? You saw it, right? You saw me do it?
Please go home
I
now.
killed him!
He did it. He finally did it. At a great expense.
Shit, he's good.
And that's Killing Gunther. With the exception of a mid-credits scene with some follow-up that reveals Gunther somehow survived, because why should anything matter in this movie? Followed by Arnold singing a country song to pad out the 80-minute runtime.
Rockin' body, pretty face, attitude bigger than the San Andres.
I love it. I hate it. I think it's terrible. There is nothing like hearing Arnold try to sing.
Now I wasn't expecting a full-fledged passionate song.
Nothing. We've seen him do it a couple times in his career, like in Twins.
Yakety yak! Don't talk back.
But this is an original song, and hearing him sing the entire length of the credits without seeing his face is such a weird experience. It sounds like a Muppet or someone doing an Arnold impression of Arnold singing a song, something I would definitely not try to do right now.
I made the movie. I'm barely in it. You really only see me for about 6 minutes. It isn't good, it isn't funny, but I got to sing and make a lot of money.
And that's Killing Gunther.
Rockin' body, pretty face.
Reviews for Killing Gunther, or is it Why We're Killing Gunther? A look at IMDb says it was changed to Why We're Killing Gunther, but I can't find any evidence to back that up. The DVDs all call it Killing Gunther. And by the way, look at this DVD cover. Is this an AI created image of Arnold? That is not a real person. Anyway, reviews were mixed to negative. Richard Roper gave it a positive review, as did the LA Times, citing Arnold having fun, but for the most part, no one found it very funny. It was released direct to video with a very limited theatrical run, earning only $197,000. This is Arnold's lowest take ever by a mile. But did it deserve better?
Rockin' body.
No. Killing Gunther is a melee of missed opportunities. It is just shockingly inept and disappointing. I'll start with the format of the movie, the mockumentary genre, which was so tired by 2017, The Office ended in 2013. So if you're going to use that genre, you had better do something interesting with it. And they did not. There is no twist here. There is nothing interesting. Adding a second documentary crew at the end could be amusing, but again, it's literally just a one-off gag. They drag the director on screen for a couple scenes, but that doesn't amount to anything. Maybe there's a comment to be made about our current self-obsessed culture, but there's no satire or bite to it. It doesn't go far enough, and the documentary style is a lazy shortcut to introduce a bunch of characters quickly. And those characters are so thinly drawn and given nothing to do. The only people who get a B story are Donnie and Sanaa, but it's mostly set up for jokes about her dad, who has, again, one character trait, he's a stage dad, and none of those jokes related to it are funny. There's just something off about everything. For instance, Crusher is a character with a robotic hand that crushes stuff. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
It clenches when I run out of battery.
That's it. That's the joke. There's never any payoff. It's all a bunch of setups here and there, but it all leads to nothing. The basic concept never evolves past having him accidentally crush one or two things. It needed a second level, like he continually loses his limbs until he's more robot than man, but his robotic arms and legs constantly malfunction like a bootleg RoboCop. That would at least provide more opportunities for comedy and progress his story. Another blank character is Paul Britton's Gabe, a computer expert that Blake is perpetually annoyed with. He's only there to annoy Blake, but he doesn't have a personality or a consistent character you can follow, and he doesn't even do stuff that annoys him. He isn't even sympathetic in a way that these types of characters who are constantly berated tend to be, like Donnie from The Big Lebowski. Here, it's labored and derivative. The funniest character on the team is Pak Yong-ki, the poison expert. They kind of gave him all of the funny traits, and I guess that didn't leave any for anyone else. For instance, he's a poison expert who refuses to use guns. Also, he throws up at the sight of blood. Also, he has a pet snake. Hat on a hat on a hat on a hat. Why not give the throwing up thing to like another character? And as far as missed opportunities, they make a huge deal of him refusing to use guns, but never exploit that for a moment where he has a chance to save someone or himself with a gun and like refuse to use it. And then there are moments where he's completely inept, throwing a poison vial, and admittedly having a funny reaction.
Did he get there?
But then later, when asked why he uses poisons, he shows incredible stealth skills. Does that ever come up again? No, it's a one-off gag with no payoff that seems like they were making it up as they went along. The running gags they do have, like Donnie being chased by Sanaa's dad, just don't stick the landing. If the dad is running around with a sword, he could have accidentally kept chopping off Crusher's limbs, and then you're tying two stories together. And then there's Ashley, continually going into the hospital, which is telegraphed from his first cough, and never given a unique spin or twist. By the second time he's released from the hospital, you already know he's going to die. They could have twisted it by having Blake be in denial or delusional that Ashley was dead, and like pulling a weekend at Bernie's to keep up morale on the team. I don't know, something, anything to make this movie stand out. The closest comparison to an SNL movie I can make here is MacGruber. And look at that movie. It's gonzo from the beginning. It went for it, and it also had a way more compelling main character and performer. Killam's character isn't as outrageous as MacGruber, but also isn't relatable enough to root for, so you end up not caring about him at all. So the movie relies solely on Arnold's extended cameo, and the problem is, he only shows up in minute 70, and it is an extended cameo. There are just way too many comedy cul-de-sacs that get stuck and go nowhere, which I'm all for absurd humor that comes out of nowhere, but it never takes any chances like MacGruber did. It's all too safe and undercooked. But let's talk about Arnold for a second. Shocker, he's without a doubt the best part of the movie, and it would have been way more interesting to follow his journey, but obviously they couldn't afford that. They had him for a week or two, and the majority of his role takes place in one location. Look, he's having a blast, he's given it his all, and it makes me wish he had done one or two more comedies in post-Governor times. Honestly, if you're an Arnold fan, I'd recommend just skipping to the last 10 minutes and watching him gleefully take on this very silly role. He seems to be having fun and had nothing but kind things to say about the production and Taron Killam as a director. Just a shame that the elements didn't come together here because there's so much wasted potential. All right, let's get to the stats. Acting chops, 4. It's basically 10 minutes of Arnold being a big goof. Kill count, 21. Catchphrase, gotta be his end credits song, Earthquake Love. And here are the Every Arnold Movie Ever rankings. Pretty low. Pretty low. It sits just above Aftermath. It's just so bad. It's so bad. Up next, Arnold reunites with his Around the World in 80 Days co-star Jackie Chan to star in a sequel to a movie neither person had anything to do with, financed by Russia and China, and I don't know what we're getting ourselves into next. But I know it's called Iron Mask. See you next time.
I made the movie, I'm barely in it. You really only see me for about 6 minutes. It isn't good, it isn't funny, but I got to sing and make a lot of money.